Hey guys, just wanted to jump on live briefly and just chat a little bit astrology and see how we're all doing. It's cleared and ground. And yeah, we've got, as we film here, Eastern Standard Time, Mercury is at 29 degrees. So this is pretty intense. Of course, especially being in Leo. Leo at 29, Mercury at 29. We talked about this for some time, yeah. As it relates to, in particular, the Virgo energy that is currently in stellium with the moon and Mars, Venus. And so, yeah, it can get kind of irritating, specifically with this dichotomy of Virgo, Leo. Virgo, Leo, Leo, Virgo, Virgo, Leo, no Virgo, no Leo. It's like these two energies can be just like really intense, really strong right now. As we all may be feeling it. So just wanted to like kind of bring this to attention. Anytime we have a planet at the last degrees, it's about to give birth. So we are feeling Mercury energy very strongly, and that would not be a bad idea to participate in some kind of clearing exercises related to that part of your chart. Also, Leo obviously will be also clearing by way of Mercury in Leo at 29 degrees. So, but yeah, it's sort of like the amperage is brought up real high with both of these energy archetypes. And we talked about this in another reading. Let's clear the energy. Yeah, it was another, yeah. Let's clear all the way down the right side of the body, all the way through, all the way down and through. We talked about this, how Virgo is very much a cerebral energy, very much in the mind, and Leo is about doing it, getting out and expressing it, and it's a very physical energy. So they have different orientations kind of in the way that they are predisposed. Doesn't mean that they cannot harmonize, obviously, but it's about how you feel with the energies as well, of course, and how it does relate to you personally as a transit. Now, you might find that you want to detach from certain experiences at this time as well. And this is a general video, obviously. We're talking about astrology. So if you're experiencing certain things, you might want to talk to your person practitioner, of course. But in a general way, like let's say you're like, I think I want to lay off the mashed potatoes for a few nights. I'm hearing this for some. I think I don't want to be looking at like holographic images online for 3 hours. I don't know what take it as you will. Just want to detach from certain activities. It's like you want to break the routine. Take the time that you need to reflect. Obviously, yet again, this is a general video, but listen to your hunch, your intuition. You know, right now we're all sort of releasing and regenerating in a certain part of our life. Some of you, this is coming up socially. This is coming through emotionally. You know, there are things that you are coming to realize more clearly around this time. And in addition to Mercury being at 29 degrees of Leo, we've also just had a new moon in Leo. Lionsgate. Okay, new moon, 8-8. So it's like especially strong Leo energy and new beginnings here, focused on clearing. So if we're a little sensitive around this time, especially with Leo, Leo is all about it can be our creative energy force, or, you know, and how we want to express and assert ourselves. And, you know, it can get awkward when Virgo is also holding the mic at the same time, and it's like Virgo is about but so if you feel like also hypersensitive and to also other people, don't know what that's only for everyone, always take it as you will, maybe it's in your work, etc. That is kind of normal at this time, I would say, but this is a general video and you also have to talk to your person practitioner again. Just gonna mention that. But you guys, I want to jump in the chat. How are we all feeling? I'm seeing like a lot of energy, and you know, this is in addition to Virgo. Leo is the Pisces energy as well that we're experiencing. Yeah, but I'm seeing this as kind of like a frustrated energy where it's like, I want to do this, and then it's like kind of odd. It's like, and you guys let me know if you feel the same. It's like Virgo is like, kind of like the parental guidance. Okay, and then it's like Leo is like, but I want to have candy. Okay, like, and this flavor specifically. And then it's like, and then Pisces, you know, energy is very like transcendental, and there are not really boundaries there. It can feel kind of like you don't really have a grasp on what's happening right now. And especially if you have a lot of Leo in your chart, this might be a time where you're like, I feel like I don't have control over anything right now. Okay. How many of you actually do have quite a bit of Leo and are understanding what this is as a concept relating to for you? It's clear. Some of you may be feeling frustrated creatively, like something is at a standstill. Maybe you know what it is that you want to create, but then it's the process that's kind of like melting. I'm hearing that, like every time you try to get something started, something, you know, it's like I'm trying to push the marble up the hill, and like, or it's like, but then it keeps rolling back. It's like maybe, you know, underestimating. I'm hearing B12. That's a vitamin. Yeah. Sometimes we're also feeling things where it's like, whoa, I never react like this, or I never have this kind of like vibe or feeling. It's like, you know, there's a lot coming. Leo is also the inner child. So it's like, I want this now. You know, it's like, that can be. So if your inner like child, and there are many different manifestations, right, can be, is like, do you feel like you're kind of not understanding where you're at from that standpoint as well? Let's clear it in ground. If you're feeling judged as well at this time, like, again, I'm hearing like ego bent out of shape, like feeling frustrated, like you want to see something manifest. I'm seeing that really as like a collective space of perspective right now, possibly, where it's like, it's just not happening. It's like, don't worry, you know, it's not about making it like happen, right? Because it is about the flow state as well. And that, but I understand this could be frustrating, because it's like, your ego, Leo, is like, I see it, I want it, I'm ready. And then it's like, Virgo is like, stop. Do you have water with you? Make sure your backpack is all stocked. It's like that kind of vibe a little bit. And then Pisces, of course, is like, we must all be on the same page. Energetically, emotionally, spiritually, you know? So it's like a lot of factors. Is anyone else understanding this vibe? Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the ego and everything. And sometimes it's, I'm seeing cacti here. It's like everything has an ego, and it's like everyone has like a decision to make. Everybody has like emotions. Everyone has their personal life. It's like everything is splashing together like in the pool, you know? And so if you're feeling like frustrated, don't let that derail you, right? Like, allow yourself to feel what you feel as well is important. I'm hearing that. But when it comes to the direction that you take your consciousness in, wow, at this time, maybe just be an observer. That might help, but always take it as you will. It's your experience, of course. Also, you know, for example, I was going to say, yeah, because Mars in Virgo it's more like suitable for taking stock, taking heed. Okay. It's wonderful for situations, contexts where you really got to, like, you know, add up the tokens. I'm hearing that, like, look maybe in retrospect as well. Like, what did we do last time? What did I do last time? How did that end up working out? For fresh, new sort of concepts, you might want to wait until we are at least, let me pull up the ephemeris. Oh, by the way, Mercury is going to be going retrograde. Like, yes, and this is going to be in September, so hopefully I can get some of those readings out soon. That's going to be a huge cycle here. It's going to literally be coinciding with more or less all the other planets that are generational retrograde, including Pluto, Neptune, Jupiter. Let's take a look at the ephemeris here. And by the way, thank you guys for tuning in. These Astro Talks are pretty fun. I actually really enjoy them quite a bit. I look back on them and I find it kind of interesting, helpful. What about you guys? Do you find these videos helpful? When we sort of just jump on and talk astrology talk. But Pluto, yeah, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury will all be retrograde until I would like November. You're safe in November, more or less. well, with Mercury, because Mercury has a post shadow until November, about November 2nd, 3rd. It's kind of around. Yeah, but then you have like Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter technically going direct in October, but I consider post shadow, but they are generational planets, so you do what you think with that. It's more, if it's a personal planet, like I would, with Mercury, look at pre and post shadow. Some of the generational planets actually overlap the pre and post shadow. Like one cycle overlaps another. So it's kind of hard to find, I'm hearing a space to suit up in when it comes to those frequencies. I don't know. But that's a little too in particular for everyone. But a lot of green lights here with the October energies when it comes in general to most planets. You have, again, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter in post shadow. At least they're not like actually retrograde, but yet again, especially with Jupiter, like post shadow is relevant. Mercury is going to be also technically direct, but again, we got post shadow, but we start to see that forward motion movement in October. However, September, we are looking at heavy retro, almost everything, save including Uranus, which will go, by the way, retrograde on the 19th. We talk more extensively about this in members, side note, but this is coming up. I feel guided to communicate it. Mercury here, retrograde on the 27th, technically in September, but we see pre-shadow entering in 6th, 7th of September. Okay. But yes, October. What else here? Yeah, we see more Neptune. We see more. We see Neptune going direct in November. Technically, again, you still have the post shadow. So, but by November, we'll have more flow state with those frequencies, as it may be felt. Just looking ahead here, Venus will be going retrograde in December. Oh boy. I'm hearing fuck. Okay, first time, but we will always take it as we will. That will be not Scorpio. Thank God. In Capricorn, can you guys imagine Venus and fucking retrograde in fucking Scorpio? Of all signs, like, that would be like, take shelter immediately. Venus retro is going to be in Capricorn. But that's way, well, not way ahead down the line, but sometime. We have a few months until then. But regardless, we were saying, yeah, we've got some waves here headed our way, we'll say. Yeah, Mercury in retro in September is notable, I would say. Now, but coming up, again, if you've got like a major decision to make, and you want to really like sort of really like, you've got a project, you're like, I don't have any particular deadline really here with this concept. It's something that I'm passionate about, but I don't have to deliver like, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let's kind of run. Yeah, I would say, I'm hearing Mars in Virgo works with variables. Direction, I would, if you can, wait until October, when Mars enters Scorpio. Even if it's a water sign, fixed water sign. And Scorpio is very much, right, that penetrative sort of energy space. So whatever it is that you want to be manifesting here, I would, if you can, wait until October. It's a message coming through. I'm going to jump into the chat now. So good to connect with you guys here. And everyone who's been connecting in members. I'm so excited to touch on the next weeklies. The weekly has been posted for this week, by the way. So those should be up on the website, on the channel main page, and there should be a membership playlist. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next weeklies here, as we have a few new members, and it's really cool to connect with you guys further. Let's see here. Good question, Michelle. It says, what sign is Mercury retro in? So, yes, I'm hearing squares. We have, by the way, squares coming up to the North Node, South Node tomorrow. This is by Mars. Mars will be squaring the South and the North Node. Heavy karmic energies here coming tomorrow. This goes exact tomorrow, but it has been obviously lingering for some time. You have the orb of influence that has been, just a side note, but it's coming through. What else that we were saying? Oh, yes, the sign. It will be, I believe, in Libra. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be in Libra retro in September. So honestly, that might be the frequencies that have been coming through now. Like, for example, okay, I would look at Libra as an archetype has been getting a lot of attention. Whoa, in terms of major waves coming, I would say like the drama really started with the Libra energy back a few months ago at the beginning. Yeah. So this might be the energy, you know how like sometimes it takes time for the energies to manifest? So look at the readings now for what may be coming up in October, towards October, for example. I'm hearing jaded. I'm hearing as well. I'm going to launch, let's see, actually, wait, I think I already have it on the website. Yes. If you want to work one-on-one with this particular Mercury retrograde, where we'll look at your chart, we'll see what is coming up in particular for you. When it comes to this transit in September, then I'm going to pass the link through. Let's clear it and ground. Yeah. How many of you are exhausted? Like really tired from the new moon in Leo specifically? Like there's a little bit of this confusing, chaotic energy, but that is expected usually at and around the new moon. You'll probably find relief with this around the first quarter stage in Scorpio on the 15th. So just know if that's what you're feeling, just give it a few days and see how you feel by the 15th. Maybe you want to even journal and see have things clarified by then when it comes to what you're feeling right now that you're a little bit confused about, or that you feel you're on the rocks about. I'm hearing that as well. Undecided about. Yeah, but it's also, again, the Mars and Virgo, just mutable earth sign with the air ruler of Mercury. You know, it is an earth sign, but it is like not really super duper. I say if you want to really get something off the ground here yet again, and it's really fucking important to you, I would wait until October. That's just like a message again coming through, feeling guided to share that. And I'm hearing, like, if your friends are all like, but, like, wait, like, but you're not in a rush. I don't know. This is what coming through as a really, really strong message. And I'm not getting into the vaccine, but if you are, I just put the link, by the way, for Mercury retrograde. If you want to work one-on-one for that transit and see what you can kind of expect here for you personally, given your particular planetary alignments, I will look at your chart and do a private report for you there. And I will also read on those frequencies. I put the link in the chat. But yeah, you know what? I'll also Twitter it. I'll tweet it. The Facebook. I will put it here in the tweet. Alchemedium. All right, but let's clear it. It's so funny. I pop up Twitter right here, and it says Florida. Just pops up. Florida doctors are exhausted, and we were just talking about feeling exhausted, interesting, and angry as the states go. Okay, so yeah, but for a number of you, like we were just talking about that, right? So if you're like making a really important decision, and it's like, you know what, it comes down to you with yourself. How do you feel, right? The worst case, really, you don't want to be in that situation where you're like, fuck, like, I didn't listen to my higher self. I'm hearing that as well. I didn't listen to myself. Like, if you're making a really key decision here, you want to maybe meditate before you, and really, like, don't make it unless you know that you're really, really sure on that. If you're like, well, I can wait, then just like fucking wait. I don't know. I hear this just coming through as a really strong message. I'm hearing do not follow the pandemic. I'm hearing that. Interesting. Let's clear it in ground. Let's clear it in groom. Yeah, no, take your time. And you know what? If people want to make fun of you and make you feel like you're undesirable now, whatever that means, okay, let them literally cast that shadow upon their own direction that they're taking on in their life. Like, why the fuck are you so focused on me and my life? You know, let it be the moment they sit in then. It's like if someone is so, and this came through a lot here in that a few weeks ago, that warning video, if someone is so like trying to get you on board, it's like, why? Just question like, okay, not like, should I do this or not? But why? What is their motivation here? You really got to be asking yourself these questions. Yeah. Ayo says, so many things fell through because they wanted me to show proof of vaccine. Yeah. Okay. This is like, yeah. So you know what? Let it be dorky. You know what? Be awkward. Be awkward. Yeah. I'm hearing my best friend. Okay, so this might be the moment. And Mercury retro in Libra is going to bring up those awkward moments with so-called friends. It rules right partnerships. It rules the seventh house ruler. It rules Venus. It's all about, okay, like who you're connecting with and why you connect to them, your values. Let's clear it. Yeah, if someone is going to make fun of you for having your values, then maybe it's time to like separate. You don't need to change who you are because you want to keep a friend. Does that make sense, you guys? Like, this is like, I'm seeing a big fluffy dog. Let's clear it. Yeah, stay on your own vibration, Amber Barnes. Exactly. Yeah. You really connect to the faith here. Like, the faith of not necessarily even knowing who you are. It's like people are like, oh, but if you're not going to do this, then what are you going to do? It's like not my problem what I'm going to do. It's not a problem. I'm going to do it the way I feel it when I feel it. And the important thing is that you feel it. Don't do something because you're like, but like logic, according to, I'm hearing logic according to someone else is XYZ. Like that's where we don't want to be making these really, really important decisions, you guys. I just feel like this period now is real pivotal, and the decisions made are not just like I'm watching a movie. It's like I'm making my story now. Interesting. Yeah, it was really karmic. So, but okay. Yeah, exactly. It's a vibe, right? If it's not authentic, we're not into it. Cool. Katie Walters says, I was so optimistic yesterday and today have had computer issues, feeling anger, exhaustion. I don't want any news at all. My family's literally paying out on me and my views. Yeah. Yeah. You guys, like, it's time to just get comfortable in the awkward zone with everything, really. Maybe people, okay? Places as well. Like, I don't know what that's alluding to. Maybe I'm seeing someone's dressing in a way that like certain people in a certain space like wouldn't expect to. That can be meant in a number of, I don't know, showing up naked. I don't know what's going on with that, but you know, it's like take it as you will. It's like I want to dress like this, or I want to be like this, or this is what I want to do. It's like that could be meant in a number of ways, but it's like the point is don't be afraid to be awkward. If it means being honest and authentic. Peer pressure, I'm hearing. Yeah. And people will really act like they know what the fuck they're talking about here. They really, yeah. And they have been, to be quite honest, with Jupiter having been at 29 degrees of Aquarius and then having moved into its ruling sign of Pisces. And now in retrograde, moving back over Aquarius, we're really like, now we're looking at the proof to the problem that they so-called solve there. You know what I'm saying? But always take it as you will. And it's like, ultimately, we don't know. Who knows what? As a Sash moon, I'll proudly represent that. It's like, no one knows anything really. I mean, there is like not a single answer, right? So that's where it's about how you are feeling you with you. And if you don't know how you're feeling about a certain situation, that's where you might want to really reflect and understand how you can feel connected to what you're feeling actually. Yeah. Like, if something makes sense magically to so many people, but it doesn't make sense to you, emotionally as well, it's like, well, maybe you have different metrics here. It's like, I value things emotionally as well, so it's not making sense to me emotionally. Okay, you rock that. Be honest with yourself, you know, because energy doesn't disappear. Like, you can't hide how you feel to your higher self. Like, it will come through eventually down the line. And you don't want to resent people. You don't, ultimately, it's like, so let's just say it like this. Somebody's trying to force you to do something, okay? Trying to convince you. It's like, just say it. Hey, this is for you. This is for your own good. Because if it did not manifest in the way that it was ultimately in resonance with my higher self, then I would resent this. And I don't want that to be the case. So that's where you have to get really clear with their higher self. I'm hearing that as well, because that's called karma right there. And you don't want to create a karmic situation here. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. For some, you got to make that side of the story clear. Because some people, yeah, then yeah. This also holds in matters of partnerships. Like, if everyone's like, oh my God, like, you gotta date this person, like, they're the thing, like, but you're not feeling it, just say, I'm hearing just say no. Like, and, you know, this may also hold for, like, if you're feeling like, I really want them to be on board with me. It's like trying to, like, kind of get your friends to kind of follow suit. It's like, you know, but that might not be what is in alliance with their higher self. So, like, when people ask me, what's your opinion? Like, da-da-da. It's like, well, I'm not going to tell you, like, what to do, okay? It's like, I don't want you making a decision, like, based on what I'm doing for myself. Like, that, it goes both ways. So it's like, you know, because it will eventually be known if somebody is in alignment or not. And that's where we have to clear the cult-like energies as well. It's like, don't be like, oh, like, you know, even if you really respect someone, you always have to question everything. Let's clear it. And I'm hearing someone. Interesting. So it's like, maybe reflect. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter who says what. Like, you gotta question, is this in alignment with my higher self? Okay? And it's okay for the answer to be no. Like, I don't resonate with this right now, or I don't resonate with that. That's okay, because it's being honest. You see what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, you're planting a seed that, like, doesn't really relate to your garden, your concept of your garden. And everybody is here to create their own garden. Like, that's what the point is here. So yeah. So there are, like, gonna be tests. I'm hearing that as well. People coming through, talking about things in certain ways. I'm hearing that as well. And certain people, I'm hearing talking to you, period. I'm hearing that. Maybe certain people coming back from the past. Like, I'm hearing Shark Tank. And, like, don't feel bad, you know, if someone is not on board with you. Like, let's say that you do know what you feel. Okay. You're like, I know this is true for me. Okay. I know what's right for me. And you know, and you're grounded in that. Like, if you see someone is making an alternate decision, that's okay. Like, the point is that they make that decision, right? And so, but yeah. There could be some really triggering conversations coming up. Be aware of that as well. I'm hearing that. Like, people wanting to debate stuff with you. It's like, why? Why? No. That's a red flag right there. I'm seeing that. Yeah. That's a super red flag. That's a super red flag. Like, either you say, like, if someone is coming through and saying, hey, what's your opinion on this? Like, that's very different from, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, but wait, it's like, yeah. Mind your own business. That's what it's about. That doesn't mean like be like, not contribute to society necessarily, but it's like maybe that is your contribution, minding your own business. You know what I'm saying? And but making something of that in the space that feels right to you. Like maybe someone's even like, oh, I think you should do this with your life. It's like, but like, did we say that that's what we said to each other? I don't know what that's going to. Maybe someone here is like kind of controlling. How many of you? Well, yeah, they want to be relevant in your life. I don't know what that's about. But and if you're trying to like include them to make them like not feel bad, it's like that's just like not the point for them as well. Like you gotta push. Yeah, I'm seeing you gotta push people away. You gotta do that. This is for some possibly. Let's clear it. Don't be afraid to push them. If you're like, well, I don't want to be mean, it's like, but they gotta understand and define their life for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing people like getting ready to surf waves. It's like if they're not wanting to find a surfboard that they feel comfortable riding out on their own, like I don't know what's gonna happen down the line. Like you're both gonna be riding. Have you ever seen two people on the same surfboard? Let's see. Like a tandem surfboard. Like when I search
it's 10 o'clock.
When I search surfer wave 2, like there is a picture of two people. I mean, it doesn't look really like a viable option though. Like they look like they're doing yoga but practically, I mean, I don't know. Like I see most people have their own surfboard. So it's like if someone's making you think, what, I need you, like you're my only friend, like this is not, no. And that's where you gotta get really awkward, is if and maybe it's not, nothing is inherently awkward, but it's like that's where it has to start to feel weird, maybe. Okay, maybe they're gonna be like, it's weird, why are you pushing me away, like, but it's best for themselves. I'm hearing it's time to gear up. Like you gotta like kind of, you got to stand for what you believe. I'm hearing that as well. And don't be afraid to point out where you feel like you need to point out other people not getting in gear. I'm hearing taboo. So, embodied Rakib. Yeah, because it's like, when people want to have convo and they're really actually like, I'm hearing enlightened, interesting, where it's not necessarily that they're like fully, they're coming from the standpoint not of like, tell me what I should believe in, but like, let's have a combo, and from like an open space of wanting to understand like, different perceptions here of a certain conversation. And then there are I'm hearing the content creators. I don't know what that's going to do, but conversationalists, I'm hearing that as well, who are like wanting to just kind of get involved. I'm hearing in your karma. I don't know. And call it their own. Interesting. Well, that can be however, but it's like this is not necessary. So maybe this is where we got to get really clear, like, hey, we don't need to talk about this. And sometimes it's like, well, we could talk about this. And it's like, but we don't have to talk about this. Okay. Because and that's, I feel like, really important. That's a test energy right there. It's like someone maybe trying to get you wound up in some combo that's going to end up actually being draining. And it's like, but I already said like very clearly, okay, that I, how I feel about this already. Like, why are we having a conversation like repetitively about this? That's a red flag, I feel. So I don't know who this might be relating to, take it as you will. And it can be even on the news or social media, like I'm hearing companies wanting you to think in certain ways, saying certain things. So you start thinking and like, it's like, okay, you have the right to check out. Like, the worst thing is just like being forced to listen to some kind of advertisement. Let's clear it. I'm hearing pre-programmed marketing. What a turnoff. Okay, so yeah, exactly. Protecting your energy. Yep. That's right. Embodied Rakib. and let people be like, oh, what a weirdo. Let them do that. Whatever that is. What is that? I don't know. Because yeah, that's where you check out. I'm not involved in that. Okay. Like, so I'm hearing robot. And, you know, maybe you don't have a viable reason so-called for why you don't resonate with something. It's like, I don't know why I don't want to have a combo with this person, or I don't know why, like, I don't want to go on this date with this person, or nothing is technically wrong or off here, but I just don't feel like I want to, whatever. Listen to that hunch, you know? Yeah, listen to that hunch. It's subtle at times, but yeah, that's right, Jessica. Like, yeah, it's like you're not obligated to open, because when you communicate with people, you open your energy space to them, and you have the right to end the conversation as well if you started it. And someone forcing you into convo is like kind of aggressive and uncalled for at times as well. Like, you know, but depending on how you relate to it. So it's like, yeah, and you should not feel uncomfortable to call it out as that. Like, hey, this was aggressive and uncalled for. Like, I think this is kind of overly assertive a little bit, and you're crossing a boundary, and I don't have to get involved here. So someone trying to schlep their like experience on you, it's like, okay, like, so step back. And this can also be related to marketing. I'm hearing this as well. Like, I'm seeing like weird messages coming through, even company logos. I don't know what that is about, you guys. But just be aware, like, I don't want to watch this advertisement, or I don't want to watch this TV show, or I don't want to watch whatever it is. Just tune in, because right now, yeah, there's a lot of like, I'm hearing calling. Just because someone's calling doesn't mean you have to pick up, you know? Yeah, Brenda. Oh, totally. People will be like, oh my God, they'll start to like assume, oh my God, something must be wrong. You want to spend time alone? It's like, all right, that's where we see it clearly that like, okay, it's good I'm taking this time alone, because if that was who I was interacting with and they're not, you know, valuing alone time, then I got to really take time out. It doesn't mean that you don't hold love and respect for that space in some capacity. It's just not resonating for you at that moment. I'm hearing papayas. It can actually even be a food, right? We communicate with everything, the things we eat, the things we see, that we observe. If you want to take time, just like close your eyes. Like, I don't want to be observing like what's going on right now. Like, that's okay. You take time to close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes. Like, you know, close the window. Like, reconnect to you in the way that you feel you need to. Hug a tree. I'm hearing that as well. I get so excited when I see people like out in nature, like literally hugging trees. Like, it's like, that's so cool. Not because it's like, oh, that's a cool thing to do, but because it's like, they're just like not caring, you know? They're not doing something because they feel it's like, you know, something like special or particular. I don't know. Like, I always think that's so cool, especially in like big cities, like, you know, people who like put their hand on the trees and like ground, like that's so cool. Yeah. Whenever I see that, I'm always like, wow, yay. You know. Right. Lemon lime. Yes. Like, honestly, I mean, this might be triggering, but like, I've enjoyed the pandemic period, to be quite honest. Like, I think this is what a lot of people need. Like, we spent so much time just like constantly in like consumption mode, people, places, things, sounds, la 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 la. You know, it's like we need this silence of like stagnancy in quotes, but you know, reconnection as well. So it depends on how you see it. Yeah, exactly. Alicia Rose, yes. It's what Gaia needed as well. Yeah. Yep. Yes. And sometimes we don't even realize, like, whoa, I was overstimulated. Like, until we step out of that environment, like, we don't realize how much something, like, is actually impacting us. And sometimes it's like one factor or one thing that is actually branching out and affecting other factors. Like, let's say you worked somewhere 9 to 5 and you're going to work every day like that. And it's like, by way of doing that, you're also, let's say you're eating certain things, like this is an example, okay, or you're talking to people, there are certain habits there, and you'd be surprised as well, like how much people actually can affect you. Those of you who have a lot of water in your chart, just being around people, especially if you're not aware, like you could really kind of just take on their energy, like, and you don't even know it, like, so. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and people who are complaining, oh my god, like, I can't take this. It's like, just, yeah. It's like, what do you think we're here for? Like, destroying the earth? Also, like, this is a good point, Alicia Rose. Like, taking all this break here really was very necessary. Okay, so it's like, yeah, it's like, what can't you take? Like, we need the silence, don't you think, from time to time? So if somebody is like pushing you, bro, we need to like, like get back on track with our life. It's like, and they're trying to push you to do stuff. Like, don't want to get into the whole vaccination conversation, but it's like, everyone makes their own decision here, right? That's the important thing here. There's no like ultimate dogma, but it's like maybe someone else's anxiety with their own life is like feeding into like what you're feeling with yourself. This might be a message for some. Like, yeah. Like FOMO. It's like, this is no such thing. No such thing as FOMO. Okay, I'm getting like a lot of this. Like, people are like, oh my god, we have to do this. Like, I'm wasting my life. No, you're not. It's a matter of how you connect to your life. Your life is always, because it's you. If you're trying to like stick stuff in your life and then it's like you don't have those things anymore, then it's like, okay, then you're gonna feel that way. But if you're not making your life about things outside of you, then you're gonna have no problem in situations where, yeah, it's you with you. And that, I think circles back to what Lemon Lime said. It is about feeling comfortable with the self. And yes. Tell me more. It's a vibe. It's a vibe says FOMO is hilarious. How so? Tell us more. Yeah, Samantha, I agree. Yeah. It's very interesting, like, because over time, like, you will talk to people. Some people will, like, detest quarantine. Some people will, like, love it. They'll be like, oh my god, this whole thing, like, helped me reset my life. Like, Divine Goddess. Exactly, AO, right? Exactly. It's like, where are you going? It's like, I gotta go. It's like, why? Where were you to begin with? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, yeah, it's not necessarily, that's where we're trying. It's like, need to get back to the linear plane. Like, it's like, you don't really want that. I think a lot of people, we know that there is change coming, and it's a matter of how connected you are to where you connect to your change. Everyone is choosing their wave and how to ride it out. And it's like, that's where you got to push people off of your fucking surfboard. Be like, bro, make your own decision. Like, you do it for yourself. Like, you want to go and do that, and you're going to do it. It's like, that's where you just really got to get like clear on, the energies that are insistent on you doing something, where it's like suddenly someone needs you to do something, and it's like, live your life, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they don't feel comfortable with the decision they're making. Like, they, you know, they want to feel like, you know, this is, and that's not the reason to do something. Because my bro Andrew wanted me to, like, you know, it's like that, and then that, yeah, that's not. I mean, if especially if it's something that you don't even want to talk about. So I don't know. Take it as you will. Yeah, but so you guys, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to you. Let's clear the energy and ground, and we're going to be getting on with Capricorn here pretty soon. And so that's going to be a live coming up. Kind of an interesting reading. It's going to be on time, by the way. Yeah. And it will be at midnight. So we got some time here until then to really sit in these Mercury and Leo energies. You too, Seth. Nice to feel you here. Thanks for tuning in. All right, goodbye, Roderick. Yes, it's time to live in light. So, also, you know, it's interesting because we can see like quarantine or like these cycles as also kind of similar to the actual transits that we experience. This is just what I'm channeling here personally. Also, my personal perspective, I'll say, is everything is sort of like obviously related to ascension. So, you know, and so, yeah, if certain transits are coming up to say it in this way that are kind of challenging you, okay, and you're like, oh my God, like, I can't take this energy. Every transit is a wonderful time to reflect on why maybe it's challenging if it is. And in general, what it is that you just feel at that time in particular. So let's say Mercury goes into Libra, which will be soon, and certain things are coming up. It's a wonderful time. Nothing is random. It's a wonderful time to reflect on what is it that is coming up exactly, and maybe trace that thing. So let's say it's like, it starts with like, well, I started feeling like XYZ, and then I got into an argument with so-and-so, and then that. Which link, Truth Heart? Truth Heart is asking about which link. Chat is so cool tonight. Wow. All the time. It's really lovely to connect with you guys. Yeah, so we're saying, you know, trace what comes up. So for example, you know, if something comes up and it's like really irritating, the link about Mercury retrograde. Okay, sure, here we are. That should be the link. But yeah, trace what comes up. If something is really irritating you, okay, take it for what it is, observe it, maybe actually write it down, okay, and make like a little branch sort of tree setup with that particular, we could say, concept. Okay. And you say, well, what is that relating to? And then what is that relating to? And just trace it all the way down until you get to a fundamentalism of self-expression when it comes to you with you. And you say, well, is this something within me that I actually want to express? I feel like all stagnancy is where we're not really relating to ourselves fully authentically. And that's where we feel disconnected and troubled in our relations with others, in, the way we connect with others, people, places, things, ideas. So yeah, just keep that in mind when we're moving through these transits. There's a reason for everything, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, always take it as you will. Maybe this is even you with you. You're having a certain conversation. Whatever it is, just question it. And, let's clear it. Clear it. Yeah. And maybe also, let's clear it all the way through the whole chakra system, all the way down, all the way up. Yeah. And ground it and root it. Yeah. Some of you, like, there are things that you have to maybe accept you with you. It's like, yeah. And that's where I would definitely, let's clear it again. Yeah. This comes down to where you are resisting yourself. Maybe reflect on what is it that I am resisting with myself. So let's say, okay, like everything is reflective, right? We're having a conversation, let's say, with person A. His name is Fidelity. I'm hearing insurance. Okay. This is going to take it as well. Okay. If you're talking to like insurance agent really pissing me off, okay, whatever it is, it could be the smallest little incident, whatever it is. Okay. So-called incident. You're like, really irritated me, right? It's like, whatever that concept is, whatever that interaction is, okay, ask yourself, how is it reflecting for me what it is that I really feel, that I'm not really focusing on actually. So thank that person or that experience for shining that light on you in your experience with your higher self here on earth. Everything is meaningful. And try not to come from that space of like, but he did this and they did that. It's like, they are here to express you to you more clearly through a lens that at times may be frustrating, because it's like, well, why is he like, why are they like, that's the way they show you to you. I'm hearing that as well. And I know that can be kind of triggering, like, okay, but hey, but just, yeah, you will see if you trace the interaction through and you get truly honest with yourself, you will see that that person is not really there. It's you with you. So if you are feeling triggered by something, find out what is not trivial about that interaction. Okay. Where you're like, oh my God, like he doesn't matter. They don't matter. And they're just saying these, and it's just irritating me. You're getting upset. And we can say that this person is even like an experience, like it's a mirroring. Let's say, I'm so upset that Corona is happening. I'm so upset about the pandemic. It's like, okay, so like take that experience and ask yourself why, right? That might be an example. But this can happen in so many ways, in so many ways where we get triggered by things. Like it can even be an inanimate object, okay? Like something you stub your toe on, right? Hello, Marisa. Thank you for tuning in. I saw your comment, so lovely. Thank you for your donation. Very, very kind. Which article? Truth Heart. I didn't. No. Right? So let's clear it on the heart chakra on the right side. And, nobody knows you. And it can go from different angles of like, oh my God, like I wish this was working out with this person, but it's not working out. It's like, that's where I feel we are yearning for that thing, that person to help us like understand ourselves more. We don't need that person to understand who we are, right? That's like shortcut world. And you're here on earth to like really ascend, right? So it's like, that's kind of, yeah, earth is very dense relatively. So these experiences are expected. It's kind of like, but always take it as you will. Interpret it as you do. There are no absolutes, but I feel like, yeah, we're definitely here to learn. It's like your higher self knows this, okay, on astral planes and whatnot. But That's why when you meditate, you might feel lighter. Like, I'm not worried, you know? But in Earth world, it's like you can get really bogged down. Like, I really want to be with my soulmate. Cause like, well, why? Wait, think about it. Like, why do you feel that yearning? I have to be with them. What is that? Like, so then what? Imagine how many times you've been with someone, you've been in a relationship, and you've been absolutely depressed. Think of those times, right? It's not really about that, you guys, right? It's like everything else is just like the mouse with the cheese, right? That's not really the point. It's the process. It's the process. So we're not really fighting anyone here. We're not fighting, oh my God, they've got to be like this and they got to do that like this. And that's just like, if they did that, that's not what you would actually even want on the higher plane. So that's where you have to checkmate with yourself and you say, okay, I see you. Like, what's that fear space? Okay, that's what we're talking about. I think when we're talking about true transcendence. 5555. The processed cheese. I'm hearing we were. Now we're taking the probiotic. And once you get to that point, you're not going to crave it. And when you see the cheese, you'll be like, all right. But if, yeah. So it's like our spiritual gut flora. New concepts here. Yeah. We talk about cheese, the cheese, in the Capricorn reading. Fake cheddar. I want the true aged cheddar. Don't give me any fake aged cheddar. Yeah, it's like, I don't want this to manifest unless it is already. I don't want it, you know what I mean? And what is not, and what is already is. So you don't need to fear, right? Oh my God, this needs to manifest by this. No, it doesn't, you guys. This is, yeah. We're just understanding it through this dimension, but we're not actually experiencing it in this dimension. Okay, so before we get really Neptune, this concept actually came through in the Neptune retrograde reading. I'm going to put that link here. Pisces, Neptune retrograde. That's probably one of my favorite readings. Yeah, for sure. It's just so much insight, I feel, and watching over it, I'm just like, wow. I feel like that is a concept that's so relevant as we move through Neptune retrograde. Well, obviously it's a Neptune retrograde reading, but like in this time, that's like, even if we're experiencing these other transits, like, but you take from it what you think, right? Of course. It's a semi-rope reading. I'll put the link in the chat here. Mayo cheese. Oh my God. Well, yeah. Depends on what you've been hooked on. You know what I mean? Yeah, and like I think really honestly, anything where it's like, oh my God, like I really need this. I feel like I really need this. And you don't not even understanding why you feel you really need it. Like this is truly like the mirror of this would be biologically actually, like if you think about stimulants that are addictive, like for example, even something like salt. MSG, for example. It's like, oh my God, I just need to keep eating this. It's like, why? This is like, if you act, yeah, and that's where, you know, so maybe same can apply, different situations. Sugar, right? And then once you like detach from that and you think about it, anytime you've detoxed, it's like, you're like, I'm cool. I'm not craving that. A lot of it is also psychological. So that's where you need to detach from, like, don't be afraid again to like detach from like certain people at certain times and certain frequencies, because like they may be preaching a mantra that's like keeping a certain ball rolling here that's even related to a certain industry, maybe of cheese, take it as you will. It could be a metaphor, you know what I mean? Like the major sort of like, but before we get into that, and then YouTube suddenly blocks this video. Yeah, so anyways, it's clear and run. Yeah. So you really don't, anything, this is the major message, I think, is if you feel you need something, I would pause and think, what is that thing to me in terms of what I would like to give myself that I perceive as not already giving to myself. So, and it doesn't mean like I have to be somewhat different to myself. It's that you are you already. And it's a matter of just how you're perceiving you as you, 3D human you. So, all right, you guys, this is fun. This is, of course, a channel message, and it's just, it's a perspective. You always take from it what you do, and there's no like absolute. But I do feel like there are certain things that are obviously not in resonance, and not because it's an absolute like dogma of knowledge, but because it is possibly even just the way that it is relayed. Like if it is something where someone is saying, for example, like, this is the truth or this is what needs to be known, that's where it's then like, right? Doesn't mean that it's not true. It's just, why is it being relayed like that? And does that process resonate with me? So maybe ask yourself, like, would I tell someone else that? And it's okay to be different, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel weird for being weird. It's all relative. Have a lovely night, you guys. Enjoy these transits, and I'll see you in Capricorn if you do tune in tonight. Bye.